Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. I don't have the foggiest idea how you got chosen to start with Hello Joe because of the F up we problems. Man 50 composed sternly in his subtitle, requesting the president return to work and assist with settling these worldwide issues. Joe was somewhat lethargic at times. He felt like he was a little languid, like he was getting worn out. Perhaps it's excessively much for him. FY Sent is discharging shots at President Joe Biden and calling him out for going on an oceanside getaway while the world is near the very edge of the Second Great War. Joe Biden, as of late, took one more excursion with his better half, and individuals are reasonably shocked that the president is unwinding while the conflict in the Center East furies on, and the typical cost for most everyday items in the U.S. is getting more unmanageable. Many individuals via virtual entertainment are presently joining Fent and getting down on Biden for hauling the U.S. into another silly conflict that will cost the citizens billions of dollars and possibly dive the U.S. into another disastrous financial downturn. So what precisely did Fent say about Joe Biden, and what is his opinion about Biden running for appointment in 2024? In spite of the most recent surveys showing that most Americans object to Biden as president, we should separate it. Okay, I don't have the foggiest idea about continuing currently S message in the subtitle of his Instagram post. How about we simply give them some break? Everyone loves break SMH, so FY Sent is by, and by going off on Biden for what he accepts is Biden's finished deficiency to run the country, Fitty completely illuminated virtual entertainment. This end of the week going off on President Biden for loosening up on an oceanside in Delaware, while disorder keeps on unfurling in the Center East by the manner Biden's Delaware trips have proactively cost the state. A huge number of the president and first woman Joe Biden have made it there. Standard practice to withdraw to their homes in Greenville and the waterfront sanctuary of Rehoboth Oceanside on some random end of the week. You could recognize President Biden cycling or going to Chapel Apple. His administrations, and keeping in mind that it's typical for a leader of the U.S. to go through ends of the week outside the White House, the recurrence of President Biden's excursions to the main state has incited many individuals to scrutinize the monetary ramifications for Delaware, and the consuming inquiry is exactly how long do the Bidens genuinely commit to Delaware, and what's the related financial effect on the state? While concurring to Delaware online, Biden has made 76 outings to Delaware. Since his introduction and Newcastle area spent more than $3.2 million on police and crisis clinical benefits for the president in the beyond 3 years. Now, this is now reason enough for American citizens to be disturbed. However, the way that Biden and his significant other chose to take one more excursion to Delaware when the contention in the Center East is taking steps to transform into the Second Great War got individuals totally angry at Biden, and one of these individuals is FY Sent, who previously called out Biden in the past for his problematic approach. Last year, Fent openly pummeled Biden for his alleged free crack pipe dispersion plan and hauled him on Twitter back in February 2022. The Biden organization reported a $30 million damage decrease plan, which should supply drug clients with safe smoking units and supplies with the objective to advance safe medication use and advance racial value. Well, FY felt it was insane to give out break smoking supplies to fiends, and he posted a screen capture showing the title from a day-to-day Mail article about Biden's drive and wrote in the subtitle, "Okay, I don't have the foggiest idea what's happening currently. We should simply give them some break. Everyone loves a break." Shaking my head, Fitty was likewise, as of late, inquired as to whether there ought to be an age limit for U.S. presidents following boundless worries that 80-year-old Biden is ill-suited to run the nation, and this is the thing he needed to say regarding that: Joe is somewhat sluggish some of the time. He felt like he was somewhat languid, like he's getting drained, and perhaps it's excessively much for himself, and FY is presently once again at it again, hauling President Biden, this time over his new excursion to Delaware while the U.S. is confronting worldwide clash. Fitty first shared this photograph of President Biden and the main woman relaxing on an oceanside and wrote in the subtitle, "Hello Joe, 'cause the F up we problems, man." The next day, Fitty shared a screen capture of an article about him hauling Biden, and he multiplied down on his past message, composing, "We got some genuine rolling on over here, Joe. What's the arrangement to get a tan and chill? Come on now." However, Fitty didn't stop there. He later shared a screen capture of one more title about him thumping Biden for going on an excursion and composed, "Okay, we really want initiative and emergency, Joe. We don't anticipate that you should have every one of the responses in any case. You gotta concoct something. One of Fitts' posts was subsequently shared by Donald Trump on his reality social stage anyway. Fitty then took to Instagram to explain that his remarks about Biden are not tied in with favoring one side, but rather contemplating what is happening that is influencing ordinary individuals. I have no political desires. I'm simply verbally processing. Why composed? Assist me with this. What do we do? I know I'm by all accounts not the only one who can feel is gaining out of influence. Fitty later shared a clip from Fox News Ready, where the anchor said they were shocked that a rapper was remarking on the continuous emergency, and Fitty composed, who knew rapper 50 Cent would see we got 3 significant psychological militant organizations supported by superpowers enacted, and he mockingly added, okay, I'll pass on this to the specialists anyway. Fitts fans and adherents are saying he ought to continue to shout out in light of the fact that the customary citizens' cash is being utilized to subsidize wars and atrocities, while the cost for most everyday items emergency is getting more crazy constantly. Many fans are saying it doesn't make any difference what your legislative issues are on the grounds that the president lying near the ocean when the situation is spinning out of control is definitely not a decent look. The justification for why Fitts' remarks resonated with such countless individuals is that more Americans are currently maintaining different sources of income to make essential closures meet, which implies fewer getaways, less time enjoyed with families, and more pressure to see the purported God to person for every freedom-loving person in phenomenal times. Fundamentally working like it's a temporary occupation is naturally disappointing to many individuals paying little heed to who they decided in favor of. One fan remarked on one of Fitts' posts, continued to shout out this is all arranged and universal conflict. I is unavoidable, and one more fan said essentially this rapper thinks often about our country. Not at all like Joe by the manner in which President Biden is composing for reappointment in 2024. Anyway, the most recent surveys show that 54% of Americans dislike his administration. Truth be told, in October, Biden's ubiquity was close to the least level of his whole administration, other than the different abroad contentions. Many individuals likewise feel Biden isn't doing what's necessary to tackle the typical cost for many everyday items. Emergency in the U.S. as he keeps on burning through cash unnecessarily to keep the conflict machine going. As per the most recent studies, a significant 64% of the functioning populace is battling with monetary pressure. One review likewise showed that a walloping 80% of more seasoned 20 to 30-year-olds, explicitly those between the ages of 35 and 44, are feeling pressure and nervousness over cash. In the meantime, Biden has, as of late, requested that Congress support his proposition for $16 billion that would help Ukrainian and Israeli conflict endeavors, with a larger part of that cash going to military supplies. President Biden just proposed $106 billion in financing for Israel, Gaza, and Ukraine. This is the way it's divided up. $14.3 billion will go to Israel's Guard. $3.7 billion of that is for security at the U.S.-Israeli consulate. Yet the White House says the rest will be utilized to reinforce Israel's military and protective frameworks. $9.15 billion is for general compassionate help with Ukraine, Israel, and Gaza. However, the White House doesn't determine how that help will be appropriated between those three. Anyway, Biden's reps have now answered the kickback and 50 pennies of ongoing reactions, guaranteeing that Biden is completely fit for satisfying his official obligations, even from his getaway house in Delaware. The White House representative Andrew Bates gave an assertion, saying that, as has been the case for the majority of a century, presidents can execute the full scope of their obligations from any place on the planet, whether it's a disaster area in Israel or 100 miles from the White House in Delaware. Bates proceeded to say that Biden works extended periods of time consistently and has gained ground towards a section of his supplemental top